How much of an age difference is it between you and Jay-Z?
I'm, he's September, 6 months? No, December, yeah, 6 months apart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You guys are really close in age.
Yeah, we 6 months.
So growing up, we all know you guys both got into hustling pretty early. At what age did you guys start getting involved in, deeper into the streets and everything?
I would say, for me, 13, 14, I would say for me, I always been around it to know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So when I had an opportunity presented itself to me and I ended up finding some drugs. And like I said, I seen how it works, but I didn't know the true details of it. I knew enough to know how to bag something up and sell it. I seen that much, you know what I'm saying? And when I did that, when I found some drugs and I did that, I created a clientele for myself. You know, so that was my first encounter with my own drugs. And I'm talking about, I ain't know nothing more other than just to, like I said, bag it up and sell it. I'm still giving away more. I ain't use no scale. I use my eyes. You know what I'm saying? To me, bagging up a couple of $100 worth of drugs was good enough for me. You know, not thinking when we spend this money, where I'm gonna get more. I ain't have none of those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, I found this shit, Jay. Let's get rid of this shit. So, you know, that was my first encounter. And after that, like I said, it created a clientele for me. And when I finally ran out of drugs, and I'm like, yo, I don't know what to do next and shit. And I was going to the store and shit, and one of the guys from the neighborhood that raised me and shit, one of the Spanish guys named Spanish Jose, he pulled me to the side and was like, look, you know what I'm saying? I hear you made a name. You making noise in here. Would I like to, you know, work with him? And once Spanish Jose, man, I never looked back. 35 years from there, bro, I never looked back.
What was it like for you right then during the beginning? Were you just like, you know, hustling out of Marcy, out of your spot?
Nah, I mean, like I said, I already had created a clientele, like that clientele, and then I knew the right people to stop me from getting harmed while I was doing it, so I never had a problem with that. A lot of OGs used to look out for me, safety-wise. And just in the game, I just learned to learn more and more and more and become more of a boss of making my own money. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was still doing that, I still kept my paper routes. I still kept I still kept guys packing bags for me. I still ran numbers. Like, I was just always attracted to money. And everything I learned, I kind of like just passed on to Jay, or he was right there with me, you know?
At what point, yeah, that's what was going to be my next question. At what point did Jay-Z come into it? You know, he mentions you in quite a few songs where he's, you know, Dehaven introduced me to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, quite a bit.
Yeah, he came in the part that I found the drugs. When I told you I found my first I found the first drugs that I have that was mine. He been, you know, from there he been with me. I mean, I have found that in the back of a rental car, the drugs and shit. And it was through a girl that I met at one of Jay's. We went to a talent show, you know what I'm saying? And this is on record. Went to a talent show, and Jay did a battle up there and shit, and LL was there, and L was like, yo, you nice, shorty. Like, he gave Jay his flowers then. You know what I'm saying? This is before anything, you know what I'm saying? Really, Jay won that, but they just gave it to a Queens dude anyway. But at that concert, I met some girls and shit back then, and one of the girls, I don't know if her father was like a big time dealer, and she came around and I found a whole bunch of drugs, and I said, yo, Jay, we gonna move this. So that's when he came in. Like, when he came in, I showed him the same thing. We just was spending money, shopping every day, spending money shopping every day. You know what I'm saying? And not thinking about, like I said, I didn't have a clue on where I was gonna get some more or how else, where it's gonna come from. But, it's just like, it's just another opportunity had opened up when Spanish Jose approached me.
And Jay-Z was rapping at this time already, right from when you met him?
Nah, he was playing with it. He was playing with it back then, you know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, it was really new. But he was playing with it then, shifting words and playing with it. And it really started to come into play right when we started to move the trend. Jay was getting really swift with the pen. Otherwise, all the years prior, I would be in the, I'm the guy that's banging on the tables. I'm the guy that's doing the beatbox. We doing that shit all night. Like, I saw that shit from its rawest forms when he started that, bro. I'm talking about picking up bits and pieces of paper with little scribbles and shit in there and all that shit. Yeah, and it's an honor to be a part of that time right there, to know that. To be there and see that, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's not surprising to me where he at now and the gift that he have now, because I seen it in him way back then.
Was there anybody else around you guys when this was going on?
Nah, actually, we stayed together for a while, just him and I, until, we picked up, my uncle, and then we picked up my other friend and shit, and we became like a team when we started moving out of town. And as that, we just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it gave him more things to see and more things to talk about. And this, everything that's gonna lead up to this will be the reasonable doubt that's coming.
You mentioned he entered a talent contest.
Yeah.
With LL Cool J was one of the judges?
Yeah.
And he should have won the talent contest.
He should have won. And L said that too, that, you should have won that, but they gave it to somebody else.
That must have been pretty crazy for him right there with LL Cool J. I mean, he was probably like the man. He was the man.
He was the man
time,
back
right?
then. So, I don't know if that gave Jay a lot of inspiration, you know what I'm saying? Or that gave him losing that, gave him more ambition. You know what I'm saying? But, I was just like, yo, I didn't even stay that long for the show. I was out doing something else and shit. Like, when I came back, L was standing in front of us like, yo, you was dope, bro. And I'm like, damn. But that's been like that ever since I known him, man. Anybody I put him up against back then, he would just destroy them.
What were the battles like back then?
Oh, man, it was about who had better bars, man? Who made it make sense? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where Jay had to jump on them. You know what I'm saying? Because he was crafty with the words, and then putting it the way he was putting it together and making it sound. And, he was just crafty with it. Like, you could tell when they sell somebody naturally, they got that shit naturally. That's the gift that he had naturally, man.